Welcome to this video on the Zenwara channel. My name is Sri Satguru Buddha Rawa Bhagwan, and I'm your Buddha and your Satguru. Today we're going to talk about what is a full treasure yogi. Okay, what is a treasure yogi in Tantra? Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about this. Okay, so in Tantra, okay, in Hinduism Tantra, okay, there are different forms of Tantra, and there are different stories of Tantra and different experiences of Tantra. In Hinduism, you have the Mahavidyas, okay, which are the great wisdoms, the great stories, the great experience, the great stories that represent functions of the goddess, okay, functions of Shakti, okay. So basically, what is a full treasure yogi and what is a treasure yogi, okay? So as you advance to higher levels of yoga, okay, you will learn potentially to travel to stories, travel in body to stories, to send yourself to a story, to that loka, and experience it. Okay, one of the great accomplishments of the yogi is to become a full treasure yogi. Okay, a full treasure yogi is a yogi who has traveled to the domain or dwelling of one of the Mahavidyas and has gotten the full experience of the domain, so the full wisdom of the domain. Okay? And to get that, you actually need to travel to that domain to get that wisdom, to get that experience, to get that knowledge, and to get the abilities that come with it, right? That accomplishment of yoga, right? So a full treasure yogi, okay, is a yogi who has gotten the full treasure of the wisdom of one of the Mahavidyas by visiting in person that loka. Okay? A treasure yogi is someone who has visited the loka, but who has not necessarily gotten the full experience of that domain. Potentially they had to get out as soon as they could, or they just didn't get that full experience, you know? So you may be a full treasure of one Mahavidya and a treasure of another, or just a treasure of different Mahavidyas as well. Okay? So one of the accomplishments of the yogi is to become a treasure of all the Mahavidyas, to have visited all the Mahavidyas, okay, and their stories, and have gotten out of them and have gotten the wisdom of that experience, of that knowledge, of that sight, of that vision, of that experience, right? So that's a treasure. That's a treasure. So now you can be a treasure of a Mahavidya, or you can be a treasure of Das Mahavidya. All 10 Mahavidyas have gotten experience of all of them, so gotten the treasure of all of them. Now, a full treasure, you can be a full treasure of one Mahavidya, and technically you could be a full treasure of all the Mahavidyas, okay, and that's a full treasure of that Mahavidya, or a full treasure of Das Mahavidya, okay, and that is very, very, very difficult to attain, the full treasure of all the Mahavidyas, okay. So these are basically accomplishments in yoga as a yogi, right, as a tantric practitioner, okay, on the Zenwara path. So what you have here is basically a goal of the yogi to become a treasure, to get the treasure of a Mahavidya, right, and the goal to get the full treasure, and then eventually the goal to get the treasure of all of them, and then the full treasure of all of them. Okay, so when you're looking for a guru as a tantric practitioner, okay, as someone who's interested in tantra, okay, who's interested in different forms of practice, interested in following a path, a sadhana path, a path of practice, and spiritual pursuit, okay, one of these paths is the tantric path, okay, and Zenwara is very much a tantric path, okay, very much so. And basically Zenwara also touches on all the paths, is very, you know, has an element of different styles of paths. It has its own style, right, as a path, but Tantra is a very big part of it. And one of those accomplishments of Zenwara is becoming a treasure yogi, right, a treasure yogi, a treasure of the Mahavidya, right, and eventually a full treasure Mahavidya yogi. Okay, so as you're looking on the path for a guru, you know, you may be pulled towards one path more than another, okay, and other paths can lead to treasure as well, right, to becoming that. So it's important to understand that there's different paths of yoga, right, that can lead to that experience of the Mahavidyas and becoming a treasure, and that's just one of the things that Zenwara practice can lead you to, right, including enlightenment and eventually reaching the center of the Kala chakra. and basically pursuing enlightened practice at the time of your enlightenment, right? After your enlightenment. So you can become a full treasure yogi. So when you're looking for a guru, right? When you're looking for a guru in life, you're looking for certain things, right? The dream of a tantric practitioner is to find a full treasure yogi guru, right? To basically initiate them and to guide them on their path, right? That's the dream. So when you're looking for a guru, if you can find a full treasure yogi, a full Mahavidya treasure yogi, that is an unbelievable accomplishment. Even if you can find a treasure, who's actually visited, who's learned to visit those experiences, those lokas of the goddess in person, that's amazing. If you can find a treasure yogi, right, a treasure guru, and if you can find a full treasure guru, that's really amazing, right? So that guru might be, depending on what path they're on, the practice will change, will be potentially different, right? As will the effects of the sadhana as well, right? And basically the process and work and flow of that sadhana as well. So as you're looking for a guru, yes, you do want to find an enlightened guru if that's a possibility, and you want to find, if that's a possibility, a treasure or a full treasure guru, right? As that is basically a great accomplishment for someone who finds a guru and who gets accepted by a guru with those levels of accomplishment. Okay. Now, for the full experience, now there's some experiences that are much more complex. There's Tripura experiences with 3 views to get the full treasure. There's other experiences that have 1 view, 1 loka that's experienced. There's many different views and complexities and levels to the Mahavidyas. Okay, and if you're going to seek to have that experience and learn to travel to the stories, right, and to develop that way in a yogi, to develop those abilities, then you want to study essentially, and you want to have a guru that has that experience, right, and that can basically help you develop and basically take charge of your professional development program, spiritual development program, if you want to see it that way, and help you on that path, right? So as you have such a guru, that allows you to reach those achievements, right? Because once you enter into that parampara of that guru, right, that parampara guides you and protects you along that path, right? The guru is there and protects you along your path, right, and basically takes away those blocks, right, on your spiritual practice, and puts in place those safeties as well in your spiritual practice as a member of his parampara. Okay, so a full treasure yogi and a treasure yogi, the difference between the two. Okay, and that has to do with the Mahavidya experiences, the great wisdoms. So that's why in Tantra we call this a full treasure yogi or a treasure yogi, someone who has obtained the treasure, the wisdom of a Mahavidya by visiting the domain of the goddess in person and having returned with that knowledge, with that wisdom, and having acquired that wisdom and knowledge, right, and having cleared that level, if you will, of yoga, right? I hope this video was interesting for you. Thank you for listening to this video on the Zen World channel.